Ever feel guilty every time you buy something nice for yourself? Or maybe you're the opposite. You can't stop spending even when your bank account is screaming for mercy. Here's the thing. Your relationship with money probably has way less to do with your current paycheck and way more to do with what happened at your childhood dinner table. Yeah, we're talking about money trauma. And before you roll your eyes, this isn't some woo-woo concept. It's a real psychological phenomenon that's literally shaping how you save, spend, and stress about your finances right now. Whether your parents fought about bills, told you money doesn't grow on trees 1,000 times, or never talked about money at all, those experiences carved patterns into your brain that are still running the show. So buckle up. We're about to unpack why you are the way you are with money, and more importantly, how to actually fix it. Let's get one thing straight. Money trauma isn't about being poor or rich. It's about the emotional experiences and messages you absorbed around money during your formative years. And here's the wild part. Your brain was basically a sponge between ages 0 and 7, soaking up every stressed-out conversation, every fight about the electric bill, every time a parent said, "We can't afford that," with that specific tone. Psychologists call these early experiences financial socialization. But honestly, it's more like financial conditioning. You learned not just facts about money, but feelings about it. Shame, fear, power, security, or the lack of it. And your brain, being the efficient little machine it is, turned those lessons into automatic responses that you're probably still following today without even realizing it. Research shows that our money behaviors are deeply rooted in our attachment styles and early family dynamics. If your parents were anxious about money, you probably picked up that anxiety. If they were reckless, you might swing to extreme frugality or repeat their patterns. If they used money as control or love, well, that's a whole thing we'll get into. The point is, your financial habits aren't random. They're not just about willpower or being good or bad with money. They're trauma responses. And the first step to changing them? Understanding where they came from in the first place. So let's dig into what money trauma actually looks like. What money trauma actually is. Money trauma happens when you have distressing experiences related to finances that leave lasting psychological impacts. This could be growing up in poverty and never feeling secure. It could be watching your parents' marriage fall apart over credit card debt. It could even be growing up wealthy but learning that money is the only thing that matters, or that people only care about you for what you can give them. The key is that these experiences created beliefs about money that are now running in the background of your mind like a glitchy operating system. And those beliefs? They're affecting every financial decision you make. The 4 money trauma types. Let me break down the most common patterns we see. And heads up, you might recognize yourself in more than one of these. First, there's the scarcity survivor. If you grew up hearing "we can't afford that" or watching parents stress about every penny, you probably developed a scarcity mindset. Even when you have money now, you can't enjoy it. You feel guilty buying anything that's not essential. You hoard resources. You might even sabotage opportunities because deep down, you don't believe abundance is possible for you. Your trauma response is hypervigilance around spending, and it's exhausting. Next up, the reckless spender. This often happens when money was either used as a substitute for love or when you were extremely restricted as a kid. Now, you spend to fill emotional voids. New shoes after a bad day. Another subscription service you'll never use. Retail therapy that leaves you broke and guilty. You know it's a problem, but the temporary high of buying something feels like the only way to soothe yourself. This is your nervous system seeking regulation through consumption. Then there's the money avoider. If finances were a source of conflict or stress in your home, you might have learned to just check out completely. You don't look at your bank account. Bills pile up unopened. You feel physically anxious when thinking about money. This is a classic freeze response. Your brain literally cannot engage with finances because it's triggering old survival mechanisms. And finally, the compulsive hustler. Maybe you watched a parent work themselves to death, or maybe money equaled worth in your family. Now you can't stop working. You tie your entire identity to your income. You feel guilty resting. You're terrified of financial instability, so you're in constant achievement mode, burning yourself out in the process. This is a fight response where you're always trying to outrun the fear. Let's get specific, because this isn't abstract. Money trauma shows up when you stay in a job you hate because leaving feels too risky, even though you have savings. It shows up when you can't split the check with friends without calculating everything to the penny, or when you pick up the whole tab, even though you can't afford it because you need people to think you're doing well. It's there when you sabotage your own success. You land a great opportunity, but you underprice your services because you don't believe you deserve more. Or you finally save up some money, then immediately blow it on something impulsive because having savings feels uncomfortable. It shows up in your relationships too. You might use money to control your partner, or let them control you. You might be unable to talk about finances without it turning into a fight because money conversations trigger old wounds. You might choose partners based on their financial status rather than actual compatibility because security feels more important than love. And here's the really insidious part. Money trauma often perpetuates itself. If you're stuck in these patterns, you're likely creating financial instability that reinforces the original beliefs. You're giving your brain evidence that yes, money is scary. Yes, you can't trust yourself with it. Yes, you'll never have enough. The cycle continues. But it doesn't have to, because once you understand that your money issues are actually trauma responses, you can start to heal them. And that's where we're going next. So how do you actually break free from money trauma? Let's get actionable. Step 1. Name your money story. Write down your earliest money memories. What did you learn about money from your parents? What did you see, hear, feel? Get specific. I learned money causes fights. I learned we never have enough. I learned money equals love. Once you name it, you can start to separate past from present. Step 2. Notice your triggers. Start paying attention to when you feel emotionally activated around money. That anxiety before checking your bank account? The compulsive urge to buy something when you're stressed? The guilt after spending on yourself? These are your trauma responses showing up. Just notice them without judgment. Step 3. Create new patterns slowly. Pick one small behavior to change. If you avoid looking at finances, commit to checking your account once a week. If you overspend, implement a 24-hour rule before purchases. If you hoard money, practice spending a small amount on something just for joy. Start tiny. Your nervous system needs to learn that new behaviors are safe. Step 4. Get support. This is big work. Consider working with a financial therapist who understands the psychological side of money, or join a support group. Talk to trusted friends about your money challenges. You need people who can hold space for this healing. And be patient with yourself. You're rewiring decades of conditioning. That takes time. Let's clear up some myths real quick because these misconceptions keep people stuck. Myth 1. It's just about budgeting better. No. If your issues were purely practical, a spreadsheet would fix them. But trauma isn't logical. You can have the perfect budget and still self-sabotage because the emotional wounds haven't healed. You need to address the psychology, not just the math. Myth 2. You just need more willpower. Also no. Willpower doesn't work against trauma responses. Your nervous system is trying to protect you based on old information. Shaming yourself for lacking discipline just adds more trauma to the pile. Myth 3. Money trauma only affects poor people. Absolutely not. Wealthy people can have serious money trauma too. It's not about how much you have. It's about the emotional relationship you formed with money early on. Rich kids who learned money equals worth, or that people only care about their status. That's trauma. Myth 4. You can just get over it. Trauma doesn't work like that. You can't think your way out of it. You have to process the emotions, rewire the beliefs, and build new neural pathways. It's a journey, not a switch you flip. All right, let's bring it home. Your relationship with money was formed before you could even spell budget. Those early experiences created patterns that are still running your financial life today. Whether you're hoarding, spending, avoiding, or hustling yourself to death, these are trauma responses trying to keep you safe based on outdated information. The good news? Once you see these patterns for what they are, you can start to change them. Name your money story. Notice your triggers. Create new behaviors slowly. Get support. And remember, this isn't about willpower or being better. It's about healing. Your financial future doesn't have to be controlled by your financial past. You can build a new relationship with money, one conscious choice at a time. It takes work, yeah, but you're worth it. Your peace of mind is worth it. So here's your challenge. This week, write down your earliest money memory and what you learned from it. Just one memory, one lesson. See what comes up. You might be surprised by what you discover. And hey, if this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Money trauma thrives in silence, but we're breaking that cycle together. Drop a comment telling us your biggest money struggle. No judgment here. We're all figuring this out. Thanks for being here. Now go heal that relationship with money. You've got this.